Hi, my name is Philip Noonan and welcome to a special VCE Physics, preparing for your VCE Physics exam presentation. So I've got a special slide show to share with you today as well. Just bringing that up now. Here we go. I'm just conscious you might be able to see two of me at the moment on this recording. Seems I can have two images or none. So I thought I want to have something there. If someone knows how to fix that, let me know. I'd rather make a start because that's exactly what I encourage you to do. Just make a start. And there are some things which you can be doing and some things not to be doing that have made a significant difference to students of mine in the past. And I'm sure that will for you too. And that's why I'm here to share them with you today. The physics exam is on the 9th of Wednesday, the 9th of November. And this is all about, as the subtitle says, helping you realise your significant potential. All right. And if you've been in class all year, you probably know more than you realise about physics, and just doing the right things and avoiding the wrong things at this time of year will make a significant difference. So the first thing to stop doing is, if you've been working on all the chapter exercises throughout the year, chapter 1, chapter 2, you might want to consider just putting those away for now and pivoting your focus 100% to the past exams. All right, when you do that, whether it's within a couple of weeks of the exam or 4 weeks, you might say, 1st of October, you can decide. Like I'm recording this on the 26th of September. Like any time now would be a good time actually to start doing it. And you'll be coming back to the textbook anyway to review things you need to fix up, but in a more targeted way. We'll talk more about that in a minute. I would prioritise the VCAA exams because they're the most relevant ones. They're the most authentic experience, and work backwards from 2021, 2020. A lot of students say, oh, I'll leave those till the very end. But in fact, I do those first. If you want and you work backwards all the way to 2017, you can always come back and do the 2021 again. But I would also work with a physical printout, if you can, of the exam. It's a lot of printing, and just a shout out to families who do a great job helping with this sort of thing. You could even go to Officeworks if you want and maybe get a physical printout of the booklet to make it a real authentic experience. All right, let me know how you go with that. I'd be interested to know. You might want to set a bit of a target for yourself about how many exams you might get through. Not just a number you pluck out of thin air, something you calculate, like you might have 30 days to go in your preparation, and you're enrolled in 5 subjects, so 30 on 5 is 6, or round it down to 5, if you like. But discover the right pace for you, the natural frequency of doing them, the resonant frequency, if you like, as we study in physics. As I mentioned, prioritise the VCAA exam, but you will be given other commercial exams as well. And some of those are a little harder than others. Sometimes others are well known for being a touch easier, and that's good too for our confidence boosting. Students often say, oh, they're confidence boosters, the ones that are slightly easier, and that's great. I recommend it. I recommend opening your diary, or if you've got an online calendar, block out time. You might just do it a day ahead, but the idea of putting it in your schedule and having a schedule and committing to it makes a difference, because if someone contacts you or something comes up, you're less likely to be pushed off your game that way. And that's what successful people do. What gets scheduled, gets done. This very presentation has been in my schedule for several days, just preparing for it. And there's just no way I was going to stop until it was at least finished and sent out to you. So timing is a very important thing. For your practice exams, I don't differentiate between the practice exams and the real exam. Just they're all exams, and one will flow into the other. Just be very present when you do your practice exams. And before you know it, the 9th of November will be here, and it can just feel like another practice exam. Sure, you'll be a bit more on point on that day, but it starts at 9 a.m. And I recommend if you can start your practice exams at 9 a.m. too, that will be a good thing, because there is set timings. It has a real rhythm to it. And I often think of the physics exam or any written exam as a performance exam, the same as music or any theatrical performance. And you can get into a state of flow with the timing. So 9 o'clock till 9:15 reading time. Just flick through the whole paper, get a feel, maybe at least eyeball the questions at least once, and celebrate those ones you can do. In the reading time, see if you can actually do some of the section A's, like physically do them. Might just be 1 or 2 or 3, but it will give you momentum into the official writing time at 9:15, and it all helps. That's for sure. If you can just quickly have pre-done already during reading time, the first 1 or 2 or 3, they're often quite straightforward. We say straightforward, sometimes they can be a bit tricky. You just watch out. That leaves you 2 solid hours for section B, 110 marks. I know it's a lot, but you'll work through them. I recommend having at least half an hour, anywhere between 11 o'clock and 11:15. You want to be getting onto that graphing set of questions. To plot a graph, often there's 8 marks just for that. And then the whole series of questions where you might get a grade into the graph or area under a graph and calculate it and work with it. You want to have plenty of time for that. That's why you're practicing, and you'll be getting better and better at that. When you finish, take a good break. Have a bit of a meal, whether it's morning tea or lunch or afternoon tea. Have a good break. Go for a good walk around the block, get some fresh air. Then the third thing, have a nap. That's what I do. Every one of those 3 things. And then come sit down and assess and correct. And first, what you'll have is the examiner's report will be with you, which you will have downloaded at the same time as you download the VCE exam. And you might have a printout of that, or you might have it on as a PDF on your computer. Either way, have it. And it's the most valuable document. So just go through question by question, mark it. Just self-mark it. You'll do a good job on that. And the marking scheme should help you, should be available. And the examiner's report shows you the percentage of students that got whether 1 mark out of 3 or 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 3. And I play a little game with that, actually. I try and guess. If I think it's a straightforward question, whether I get it right or wrong, I'll just say, oh, yeah, I bet you 79% would have also got it. Or if it was a tricky one, I think, I bet you only 40% of the state got that year. So it's just an interesting exercise. Let me know your thoughts on that. At the last point on this slide is very important and very worthwhile. And it relates to the worded questions or the written questions. And when you mark your answers from the exemplar answer in the examiner's report, also add it to your A3 sheet in progress. For example, a definition of resonance, or it might be a question on why do astronauts report feeling weightless, for example. So that's when you do the A3 sheet. Don't leave the A3 sheet till the very end after all the exams, as if you're packing a whole lot of things you'll need for a long trip. Right? It's being incorporated into your very next practice exam, and that way your results will compound and grow exponentially. Right? It's a big help from experience. Track your progress. I often will give students a printout, a sheet with all the bundle of practice exams that I've given them, and ask them to add up all their marks, get a percentage, and translate it to a grade. For example, 70% equals a B. Just start with that process. Some students balk or put that off because they're a bit worried what they're going to see with the first one. I would personally not bat an eyelid. Whatever mark you get, I couldn't care less what the mark is, as long as you've made a start. That's the main thing. And write it down and get a baseline. Face the music if you want to put it that way. But it'll be the best thing you can do. And then you'll watch yourself get better and better. You could even make a graph. But with that said, you might take a backward step occasionally. Just be aware of that. Don't get down on that. Just be positive and say, all right, well, I'll learn from it. Could happen for a number of reasons. Maybe there was just a bigger combination of questions you need practice with. Be grateful. Okay, thank goodness I'm learning these now. Usually after a bit of a backward step, often the very next one, it'll be a huge increase. All right. It might not be a 5% increase. It might be like a 10, 15, 20%. You'll go, wow. Feel it right now. Imagine you've just finished assessing one and you go, wow, check that out. Because if you can get up to, say, 70, if you get to 80% in a lot of years is equivalent to a study score of 40. How about that? So just worth thinking about. And it's something that will keep you motivated and on track. Not just in physics, in all of your subjects, all right? You can be doing this. Getting help is important, all right? That's what this very lecture today is here to help you have a process, have a way of doing things, a strategy of things to do and avoid. Make a list as you go through each exam, and a lot of things very simple. Go back to your textbook in order to target key skills. And you might just look at worked examples. And once you can do it, just make sure the question that you didn't get right, just rehearse it until you can get it right reliably. All right, go and see your teacher. Set up an email, just shoot off an email to your teacher at school and say, this is what I need help with. And just be ticking them off one by one. You can work with other students. If you think that might help, you might lead a bit of a group or be seen as an authority. And I can help you, or another tutor or coach that you may wish to work with. But the main thing is to find some help. I will sit down with you, we'll go through your list of questions and we'll just tick them up one by one so you can do them confidently and get to 100% on that exam, get on to the next trial exam. If you have any special strategies that you use, let us know. Put it in the comment. Any special strategies that have helped you. We'd love to hear anything that's helped you as well. And in the meantime, thank you for participating today and investing in your own success.